1. Warning. Common stomach bacteria, H. pylori, linked to 12 million cancers, what you need to know. 2. The hidden danger of H. pylori. How a common bacterium fuels stomach cancer. 3. Shocking link. How a common bacteria causes 12 million stomach cancer cases. 4. Prevent 75% of stomach cancer, the simple treatment breakthrough. 1. Warning. Common stomach bacteria, H. pylori, linked to 12 million cancers, what you need to know. Imagine a silent resident in your gut that could ignite a global cancer epidemic affecting over 11 million lives. That's the alarming reality, revealed in a groundbreaking Nature Medicine study published July 7, 2025. Researchers discovered that Helicobacter pylori, a common stomach bacteria often showing zero symptoms, may cause 76% of stomach cancers expected in people born between 2008 and 2017. Here's why this invisible threat demands immediate attention. Digging deeper, the data projects 15.6 million stomach cancer cases within this birth cohort over their lifetimes. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite stomach cancer ranking as the world's fifth most common cancer, claiming 770,000 lives annually, health systems globally remain woefully unprepared. The study attributes the recent rise in cancers among young people directly to chronic H. pylori infections, often contracted unknowingly in childhood. You might wonder, how does something so common become so dangerous? H. pylori survives undetected for years while gradually damaging stomach tissue, potentially triggering ulcers, inflammation, and eventually cancer. And this is the part most people miss. Transmission occurs through casual contact like kissing or exposure to contaminated vomit or stool, making it far more contagious than assumed. Now, let's confront the geographical time bomb. Researchers from whose cancer agency project 11.9 million H. pylori-linked cancers by 2101, the lifetime endpoint for 2017-born individuals. Asia faces the brunt, 8 million cases, while Europe anticipates nearly 471,000 cases. But the real shocker. Sub-Saharan Africa's projected cases will skyrocket sixfold to 1.4 million due to aging populations, a shift many policymakers are ignoring. With demographic changes amplifying this crisis globally, coordinated prevention is non-negotiable, stresses Dr. Jin Young Park of whose cancer research arm. Yet here's the uncomfortable truth. The study admits lower-income countries' poor data quality could undermine predictions. So we must ask, is the world prioritizing affluent regions while neglecting vulnerable populations? The silver lining. Screening and early treatment could slash cases by 75%. But Park issues a direct challenge. Health authorities must accelerate gastric cancer prevention now. Considering the conflicting priorities in global health budgets, do you believe governments will step up? Share your take below. Is this preventable crisis being downplayed? 2. The hidden danger of H. pylori. How a common bacterium fuels stomach cancer. A silent bacterial threat lurking in millions of stomachs worldwide is driving a stomach cancer epidemic. But shockingly, we already hold the key to preventing most cases. Groundbreaking research reveals that Helicobacter pylori H. pylori, a common bacterium infecting stomach linings, is directly responsible for a staggering 76% of projected stomach cancer cases globally. Experts at the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, warn that if current patterns persist, approximately 15.6 million people born between 2008 to 2017 will develop gastric cancer during their lifetimes. And here's the gut punch. 11.9 million of these cancers trace directly back to this widespread infection. The global burden isn't shared equally. While Asia bears the brunt with 10.6 million projected cases, especially in India and China, the Americas face 2 million cases, Africa 1.7 million, and Europe 1.2 million. Oceania accounts for 70,000 cases. H. Pylori spreads through person-to-person contact and contaminated food or water, though scientists are still unraveling exactly how it triggers cancer development, including both gastric cancer and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Here's where it gets personal. Many carriers experience no symptoms at all and won't require antibiotics. However, for others, it manifests as persistent indigestion, bloating, unexplained nausea, or stomach discomfort. Simple detection methods exist through breath, blood, or stool tests. But here's the controversial part. While researchers urgently advocate for worldwide screen and treat programs targeting H. pylori, which could slash stomach cancer rates by up to 75%, perspectives differ dramatically by region. Take the UK's surprising trend. Cancer Research UK reports stomach cancer rates there have plunged 26% over the past decade and are projected to keep falling. Their Health Information Manager, Dr. Rachel Orritt, notes, H. pylori isn't common in the UK, and our declining cases highlight how other preventable factors, like smoking, alcohol consumption, obesity, and diet actually cause more cancer here. This stark regional contrast raises tough questions about global priorities versus local realities. The IARC study, published in Nature Medicine, analyzed data from 185 countries and mortality projections. Dr. Jin Young Park, co-author and IARC's gastric cancer prevention lead, insists health authorities must accelerate prevention by launching pilot H. pylori screening projects immediately. Recognizing symptoms remains crucial, though they are easily mistaken for common ailments: persistent heartburn, swallowing difficulties, vomiting, excessive burping, feeling abnormally full after small meals, unexplained weight loss, stomach pain, upper abdominal lumps, or crushing fatigue. Now, we turn to you. With such glaring disparities between global projections and regional successes like the UK's, where should health resources be focused? Should nations with falling cancer rates still invest heavily in H. pylori screening? Or does this data suggest prevention strategies must be hyperlocalized? Share your take below. Is this a one-size-fits-all crisis, or a mosaic needing tailored solutions? 3. Shocking link. How a common bacteria causes 12 million stomach cancer cases. Imagine this. A tiny, invisible bacterium lurking in your stomach could be silently setting the stage for one of the deadliest cancers known to humanity. Shocking, right? This isn't science fiction, it's the reality of Helicobacter pylori H. pylori, a common infection that's now linked to nearly 12 million stomach cancer cases worldwide. Stick with me, because this story is not only eye-opening, but also packed with insights that could change how we approach cancer prevention. And here's where it gets controversial. Not everyone agrees on the best way to tackle this hidden threat. Let's dive in and uncover the details, step by step, in a way that's easy to grasp, even if you're new to the topic. First, let's talk about the scale of this issue. Experts have crunched the numbers and made a jaw-dropping prediction. Of the 15.6 million stomach cancer cases expected among people born between 2008 and 2017, a staggering 11.9 million will likely be triggered directly by H. pylori. To put that into perspective, that's more than 3/4 of all cases tied to a single bacterial culprit. This isn't just a random statistic, it's a wake-up call. H. pylori is a type of bacteria that can live in the stomach lining, often without causing noticeable symptoms for years. But over time, it can lead to inflammation, ulcers, and in many cases, stomach cancer, a disease that's notoriously hard to detect early and even harder to treat in its later stages. Now, let's zoom in on where this problem hits hardest. Picture this. Of those 11.9 million cases, a massive 10.6 million are projected to occur in Asia alone. That's not to say other regions are spared. millions more cases are expected across the Americas, Africa, and Europe. Why the huge numbers in Asia? It could be due to a mix of factors, like higher infection rates, dietary habits, or even genetic predispositions. But here's the part most people miss. H. pylori isn't just a problem in far-off places, it's a global health challenge that could affect anyone, anywhere, if left unchecked. So, what can we do about it? This is where the experts step in with a bold solution. Scientists from the International Agency for Research on Cancer are pushing for widespread screen and treat programs. The idea is simple but powerful. Test people for H. pylori infection, and if they have it, treat it with antibiotics to wipe out the bacteria before it has a chance to cause harm. According to their estimates, this approach could slash stomach cancer cases by up to 75%. Imagine the impact: millions of lives saved, families spared from heartbreak, and healthcare systems relieved of a massive burden. Sounds like a no-brainer, right? But hold on, here's where it gets controversial. Not everyone is on board with this plan, and the debate is heating up. On the other side of the argument, organizations like Cancer Research UK are waving a caution flag. They point out that in places like the UK, stomach cancer rates are actually on the decline, and H. pylori infections are becoming less common. Why? It could be due to better sanitation, improved food safety, or even changes in diet over the years. In these regions, other lifestyle factors, like smoking, obesity, or poor diet, might play a bigger role in driving cancer rates. So, here's the million-dollar question. Should we pour resources into mass H. pylori screening programs globally, or should we focus on tailored approaches that consider regional differences? This is the part that sparks heated debates among experts, and it's worth asking, what do you think? To help you wrap your head around this, let's use an analogy. Think of H. pylori as a tiny spark in a dry forest. In some places, like Asia, the forest is bone dry, and that spark can quickly turn into a raging wildfire, hence the high cancer rates. But in other places, like the UK, the forest might be damp, meaning the spark is less likely to catch fire, and other risks, like lightning strikes, aka lifestyle factors, are more pressing. The challenge is figuring out how to prevent fires everywhere, without wasting water where it's not needed. This is why the screen and treat debate is so complex and so fascinating. Now, let's add one more layer to this story, because it's not just about numbers and science, it's about people. Imagine being one of the millions who could be saved by early detection and treatment of H. pylori. Or, on the flip side, imagine the frustration of undergoing unnecessary tests and treatments if the risk is low in your area. This is where the human side of the story comes in, and it's why understanding this issue matters so much. And here's a thought-provoking twist. Some experts argue that overtreating H. pylori could lead to antibiotic resistance, a growing global crisis. Could our efforts to prevent cancer inadvertently create a new health threat? It's a controversial angle worth pondering. So, where does this leave us? The link between H. pylori and stomach cancer is undeniable, but the best way to tackle it is far from settled. If you're curious to stay updated on this topic, or any other breaking news in health, sports, culture, or lifestyle, you can sign up for notifications from trusted sources like The Independent. Just head to their bulletin pages, for example, their main bulletin, at https://www.independent.co.uk/bulletin, or specific sections, like news at https://www.independent.co.uk/bulletin/news. Sports at https://www.independent.co.uk/bulletin/sport. Culture at https:// www.independent.co.uk/bulletin/culture, or lifestyle at https://www.independent.co.uk/bulletin/lifestyle, and manage your preferences in your browser settings. It's a small step that could keep you informed about life-changing discoveries. Before I let you go, here's a question to chew on. Do you think we should prioritize global H. pylori screening programs, even if it means diverting resources from other cancer prevention efforts? Or do you believe the focus should be on lifestyle changes, especially in regions where H. pylori is less of a threat? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take, and I'm sure others would, too. After all, this is a debate that affects us all, and your voice matters. 4. Prevent 75% of stomach cancer, the simple treatment breakthrough. Imagine a world where a staggering 75% of stomach cancer cases could vanish, simply by tackling a single, sneaky bacterial infection. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, buckle up, because science says it's not only possible, but urgently needed, especially for the younger generation. Let's dive into this game-changing revelation, and explore how a tiny bacterium could hold the key to saving millions of lives. But here's where it gets controversial. Why aren't we already doing more to stop this preventable killer? Across the globe, stomach cancer is creeping up among young people at an alarming rate. Yet, groundbreaking research reveals that up to 3/4 of these future cases could be stopped in their tracks. How? By detecting and treating a widespread bacterial infection called Helicobacter pylori or H. pylori for short. This isn't some rare, exotic bug. It's a common culprit hiding in the stomachs of millions, quietly increasing their risk of a deadly disease. Here's the deal, H. pylori isn't just a minor annoyance. It's the most significant known risk factor for gastric stomach cancer. Think of it as a silent saboteur, setting the stage for cancer over years of chronic infection. The good news? We can fight back. Doctors can wipe out this infection using a straightforward combo of antibiotics and medications called proton pump inhibitors, PPIs. These PPIs work by dialing down the acid production in your stomach, creating an environment where the antibiotics can do their job more effectively. It's like giving your immune system a superpower to kick H. pylori to the curb. Now, let's talk numbers, because this is the part most people miss. Despite the fact that we can prevent stomach cancer, cases are skyrocketing, especially in people under 50. To understand the scale of this problem, experts at the International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, a branch of the World Health Organization, WHO, decided to look into the future. They focused on people born between 2008 and 2017, using advanced computer models to predict how many of them might develop stomach cancer in their lifetime. These models aren't just guesswork, they are built on hard data, like national cancer rates from the Globocon 2022 database, death rate projections from the United Nations, and trends in population growth and aging. In simple terms, they are calculating the odds of cancer striking, while factoring in things like how long people live and how common the disease is at different ages. Here's what they found. If we keep doing things the way we are now, without ramping up prevention or treatment, there will be a jaw-dropping 15.6 million new stomach cancer cases worldwide among this generation. And here's the kicker. 76% of those cases, yes, 3 out of every 4, are linked to H. pylori infections. That means they are potentially preventable. Asia is expected to be hit hardest, with 10.6 million cases, followed by the Americas with 2 million, and Africa with 1.7 million. These numbers aren't just statistics. They represent real people, parents, siblings, friends, whose lives could be saved with the right action. So, what happens if we actually do something about it? The researchers ran the numbers again, imagining a world where we screen everyone for *H, pylori *, and treat those who test positive. If such a program were 100% effective, we could slash stomach cancer cases by up to 75%. Even if the program isn't perfect, say, it's only 80% to 90% effective, it would still prevent 60% to 68% of cases. And here's the best part. These strategies aren't just for wealthy countries. The researchers say they're cost-effective even in lower-income settings, much like vaccination programs for diseases like HPV, which causes cervical cancer, or hepatitis B, a major cause of liver cancer. For example, in high-income countries, screening might involve advanced tools like endoscopy, while in lower-income regions, it could mean simple blood tests or breath tests followed by affordable treatment. But here's where it gets controversial. If we know all this, why isn't *H, pylori * screening as common as, say, cholesterol checks or mammograms? Some experts argue it's a matter of priorities. Stomach cancer doesn't get the same attention as breast or lung cancer, even though it's just as deadly in many parts of the world. Others point to logistical challenges, like the lack of reliable cancer data in poorer countries, which makes it hard to plan effective programs. And this is the part most people miss. The study's models assume that *H, pylori * infections stay just as common in the future as they are now. But what if they increase due to factors like poor sanitation or antibiotic resistance? Could that throw a wrench in these predictions? The researchers are clear about one thing: we need to act now. They are calling for a major shift in how we think about stomach cancer, not as an inevitable tragedy, but as a preventable disease. This means investing in public health campaigns, rolling out population-wide *H, pylori * screening programs, and even developing a vaccine to stop the infection before it starts. But the study isn't without its flaws. For instance, many lower-income countries, especially in Africa, don't have detailed cancer registries, so the true number of cases might be higher than we think. Plus, the data on exactly where in the stomach the cancer develops, upper versus lower, isn't always precise, which could affect how we approach treatment. Here's the bottom line: stomach cancer is a massive global health threat, especially for today's youth, but it doesn't have to be. With smart, evidence-based strategies, like wiping out *H, pylori *, we could save millions of lives. The researchers argue that this approach is not only doable, but also affordable, no matter where you live. Think of it like a global fire alarm. The warning is blaring, and now it's up to us to put out the flames. So, what do you think? Should governments prioritize *H, pylori * screening the way they do for other preventable diseases? Or is this just another overhyped health scare? And here's a thought to chew on. Some experts believe that focusing too much on *H, pylori * might distract us from other stomach cancer risk factors, like diet or genetics. Do you agree? Or is this bacterium the real villain we should be chasing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on this life or death debate.